Hi, thank you for seeing me today. I just wanted to discuss a family that I've been seeing. It's a family of four. I've got Sebastian, who is 35, Yvonne, who's 28. They've been together for 13 years. Two children, a male Ziggy, who's 7, Annabelle, 6. So got limited information on Sebastian, but I do know that he's had year 10 education. He runs his own business. There's a little bit of sporadic income around that. And so over the years, the family has had to rely a little bit on Centrelink support benefits. He reported that he has got a substance and alcohol history of misuse. He's indicated too that he'd like to have another child, but he sort of thinks that Yvonne might be depressed, and as such, she doesn't want to engage in a sexual relationship. Yvonne says she's been in the relationship with Sebastian since she was a teenager and therefore has limited experience of other intimate relationships and also independent living. She reports having a very happy childhood, however, both parents have passed. Yvonne also has a significant hearing impairment, limited education and skills. She worked entry level jobs before she had the kids. She says she's socially distanced from her family and friends because she moved to be with Sebastian. She also disclosed that for most of the relationship that Sebastian has been quite demeaning and controlling, and that behaviour can escalate to damaging property and punching walls, especially if she's been out with friends. And due to this, she doesn't connect with her few friends she has due to the potential reaction from Sebastian. She does not want to have another child as she is quite fearful at this time of Sebastian. She said she's crying every day due to feelings of insecurity, which are exacerbated by her hearing impairment. She's had thoughts of leaving, but she's fearful of what that might mean for Sebastian, what he might do, and she thinks fear's the reason that she hasn't disclosed DV to family or police before this. So potential risk factors, obviously the disclosure of DV in that private session potentially changes the trajectory and the structure of the counselling. A very obvious risk factor is the personal safety of Yvonne and the children. They're living in fear, that impact on their mental health, the disconnection from family and friends. They've got a low support circle. They're quite isolated. Add to that her disability and lack of ability to get back into the workforce because of her limited skills, which gives her limited finances. So there's that disbalance of power due to not working, etc. And the controlling attitude of Sebastian. So she also has those limited experiences in independent living and other relationships. I also see a potential risk for the outcome for Yvonne by denying that sexual relationship. I have a fear that of because of Sebastian's existing controlling and aggressive behaviour, what that might mean for her and how we can approach that. And also by saying that she would like to leave, that risk of leaving, again regarding how Sebastian would react to that. There's also that awareness that this is early days in the counselling journey. So, there's considerations that, there may be a lot more to this situation. Haven't had a lot of discussion yet around the children. However, I would highlight there would be some significant risk of exposure to DV, and maybe because of Yvonne's hearing impairment, she may not be fully aware of how much they've heard or how Sebastian always relates to the children. So there's those ethical limitations too of confidentiality that I need to discuss, because if there's a risk of someone being harmed, so I need to be very clear in my explanation about learning the procedure of any potential breaks of that ethical code, while also keeping the best interests of the family in the forefront, which is tricky. Keeping in lines, obviously, with those laws and legislations around meta-terror reporting, with that potential risk of children's exposure to DV, and also with Yvonne's disclosure of DV, what that impact has for Yvonne and the children, if Sebastian was to know about that, and their safety potential escalations. Has she got the ability to take care of the children, and give them safe and secure housing, which a bit outside the circle, but Department of Child Safety. The potential risks, I think, with working with Sebastian is that limited background information on his family and friends, and that limited knowledge of the extent of his substance and alcohol use. I'm not sure whether he's sought help before and what that looked like. There's that ingrained history of control, which does that have a feeling of normality for Sebastian in the relationship? And also his potential feelings that counselling might bring up. He's already feeling quite insecure, perhaps, to that inability to support for his family. He might be feeling remorseful around that aggressive behaviour, and then using the drug and alcohol to cope with that. That could be creating a cycle. That desire for a child, is that an underlying issue again of Sebastian's need to sustain control over Yvonne, because that does decrease her ability to become independent. Sebastian's fairly unknown quantity, so even potential danger to myself if he feels I'm not supporting him in the way that he would like. So obviously when we have families experience a combination of these complex issues, they are all particularly vulnerable and probably in need of more targeted support. And so due to the complexities and safety issues, I feel it would be in their best interest for me to not continue offering family therapy. I want to work within my abilities and promote best practice and safety for the family. So I feel referring the children and Sebastian on to other counsellors would be the most ethical and safe way to support them. I would like to discuss that referral with Sebastian, and so he feels supported, and offer him appropriate links into services. If it's safe to do so, I would like to offer continual individual counselling with Yvonne, just to grow that counselling relationship and offer her that place of safety. I feel that was a big thing for her to come and see me. Link back in with you, my supervisor, for ongoing support, and get great insight of potential risks and barriers regarding that. I'd also, if Yvonne would like to, Yvonne and Sebastian would like this link in the kids with a counsellor, and obviously there's a risk factor there of Sebastian's reaction. And I'd also like to maybe refer her to a domestic family and violence support group if that was something she's open to. However, around this, I obviously need to be aware of client safety, understand those potential risks for Yvonne if she continues to come to counselling alone, as this might, bring up those aggression issues for Sebastian. So in saying that, developing a safety plan for Yvonne and her children, if this situation does escalate, suggest different ways that she can link in with me and other services, like over the phone or via video link, if that's something that's available to her or safe to do. I also need to be aware that I have to support Yvonne's autonomy regarding her decisions in this situation. So perhaps if she doesn't want to continue counselling, I would need to also or want to follow up with Yvonne and Sebastian, where they're at with that, how my decision impacted them, how that turned out for them. And in saying that, I would need to use reflective practices myself to look over my decision and the potential outcome of that. Also, in situations like this, I feel it's important to be self-aware of my unconscious biases in a domestic violence situation, and practicing self-care, because that's really important, of recognizing of what this might have brought up for me personally. And then there's also continue to seeking support and supervision, and if need be, maybe some personal counselling to talk about it. Anyway, thank you for chatting with me today. I really appreciate it.